at 11.
Good evening, I'm Connor James. We begin tonight with an operation spanning 3 states, resulting in hundreds facing federal charges and almost 1,000 pounds of methamphetamine off the streets. The Drug Enforcement Administration focused in on Tennessee, West Virginia, and right here in Kentucky. I talked with a DEA special agent in Louisville who's over the operation about the specifics. Since January, the DEA's investigation, what they're calling Operation Crystal Mountain, has stopped intricate meth operations across 3 states.
Anytime you remove this much meth and these many organizations across this region, it's bound to make an impact.
They've made hundreds of arrests and seized more than 800 pounds of meth.
The rough estimate would be over $3.5 million.
The operation honed in on meth, but other drugs were found, including 5.5 pounds of fentanyl.
Law enforcement is seeing a tremendous amount of meth in this region. We've seen a surge in the amount of Mexican-produced methamphetamine.
Special Agent in Charge Dan Dodds says he believes none of the meth was manufactured here.
We believe all the methamphetamine in this investigation came from Mexico.
Last week, there were 17 arrests in Laurel County as part of this operation. Data shows we have seen a steady decline in opioid use recently, but meth, on the other hand.
I think as the opioid epidemic is somewhat, we hope, plateaued, we're seeing significant spike in methamphetamine use and deaths. According to the CDC, about 10,000 people died from meth in 2017. Because of the operation, hundreds will face federal charges. And Special Agent Dodd says for those who are still selling meth in the region, we're coming after you.
Now, in total, 235 were arrested on federal charges. Another 140 will also face state-level drug charges. And Highway 15 in Hazard was closed for nearly 5 hours today after a deadly crash. Officials say 34-year-old Robbie Robertson collided with 62-year-old Jeannie Gayhart head-on, killing both. People who lived nearby say the crash made a huge noise, and when they saw it, it was very unlike any crash they'd ever seen before on the stretch of the road.
Well, I see the traffic slowing down. I sit in my window. I said, "The wreck somewhere."
It's just like a big old crash. Like it rattled it. It rattled so hard. It hit so hard. I thought it was a coal truck. That's the reason I came to the bottom of the hill.
Kentucky 15 opened back just after noon. You can now drive on it. And 40 years later, and a Breathitt County family is still fighting for what they feel is justice. We first told you about this family 2 weeks ago. Carrie Jean White took the lives of 3 of their loved ones. He was sentenced to death row, but that sentence was never carried out. Now the Department of Advocacy is trying to take back that sentence, claiming White has a mental disability. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked to the families of the victims.
Old recordings are all they need to bring the memories back. They still remember their laughs.
His laughter just filled the room.
Now, 40 years later, memories of the music and laughter are all they have.
He'd make everybody, laugh. When he started laughing, I mean, you couldn't stop.
Brian Strong feels much was taken away from him, as he was only 5 days old when his great-grandparents were murdered.
He robbed me of memories of them, because I would know them. They would live past what they did.
But now he is part of the fight to keep murderer Carew Jean White on death row.
We leave them on death row. If someone else, any attorneys or anything like that, was to take them off death row, blood would be on their hands and not ours.
In late July, the Attorney General's office called Mary Lou Harold, saying White's lawyer had offered them a deal to put White in the prison system with no parole.
He hasn't got the right to offer anything to us. He took 3 of the most precious people ever was from us.
The family met with a lawyer from the Attorney General's office. She said his IQ test scores of below 70 could automatically take him off death row.
Any time that he took, or the state wanted him to take the intellectual disability score, he would decline. He would go, he wouldn't take it, he refused to take it, and that's been going on for years.
The family believes he is just working the system.
If I stayed locked up for 40 years, I could find a way to fail a mental examination, I'm sure.
Wanting to make sure he stays where he was sentenced. In Breathitt County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the family says they voted no to taking him off death row, but they do not believe what they say will impact the decision. We tried to talk to the Attorney General's office, but they never returned our calls.
Well, it was another very hot day here in the mountains, and we've also dealt with a few of those scattered showers and storms. We'll go ahead and take you to satellite and radar where you could see a few of those showers and storms. There was a pretty strong lie down into parts of Lexington, but died down once it moved into the mountains. So as we scan the skies now, we're seeing a little bit of that ground clutter from the radar, but most of those showers have moved on out of here. We're looking at a pretty quiet night ahead, but as we head into tomorrow, really the next couple of days, we're going to continue to see those rain chances. Temperatures are into about those low to mid 70s. You can see Harlan's in those upper 60s, a little bit cooler, but really most of us staying into those lower 70s. But those dew points in the upper 60s to lower 70s, making it feel pretty muggy out there, and it'll give us a chance for that patchy dense fog late tonight, early into tomorrow. Now we could see some rain chances overnight, especially as you're waking up on your Wednesday morning. Temperatures will be near 70 degrees, so we'll hang on to a few of those scattered rain chances. We're dry for now, and like I said, we could be waking up to a few of those scattered chances on your Wednesday. The best chance for your Wednesday is going to be a little bit later in the day, and then we're going to have a cold front arrive Thursday into your Friday, bringing even more rain into the mountains, and a cold front means nicer temperatures are on the way. I'll have a look at that forecast coming up in just a little bit. Connor.
All right, thank you, Paige. Well, a burglary left a business in Hazard with nearly $10,000 in inventory taken. The burglary happened at the ATT store in the Black Gold Shopping Center. The police got a call close to around 2 a.m. When they arrived at the scene, a window was broke. Hazard Deputy Police Chief James East says the suspect was not there long.
Pretty much snatched and grabbed several iPhones, watches, Samsung phones, and left the business.
The Hazard location is not the only AT&T location police believe the suspect broke into. There's also footage of him at a store in Bristol. If you have any information about the incidents, you're asked to contact the Hazard Police at 606-436-2222. And people in Letcher County are currently the target of a new over-the-phone scam. The Sheriff's Department has asked the public to be cautious. The new scam comes in two forms. One caller is claiming that the recipient's social security number has been compromised, offering to allow them to purchase a new number. Another caller claims the person who answers has a warrant for their arrest, saying their social security number was used in a crime. Sheriff Mickey Stein says people should ignore these calls, but the scheme is not always easy to avoid.
Everybody that's contacted my office has always give a different number that they've called from. Even the scammers now, they can use my cell phone number to call you and ask for money.
Stein says the main target seems to be elderly people. He says everyone should be on the lookout in order to avoid being scammed. And law enforcement across the state are banding together to stop drunk driving. The Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign is in full swing. Laurel County ranked in the top 40 throughout the state for impaired driving. To combat those numbers, police in London are performing road and safety checks.
Even if we put the campaign out and people hear that we're going to be doing road checks, we're going to be doing this, they may not get out and drive, and that's what we're hoping for if they've been drinking.
The campaign ends on Labor Day weekend. And Addiction Recovery Care opened an outpatient center in Martin County. Now officials are helping addicts to recover in more ways than one. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher shows us how.
Recovery is not easy.
It doesn't matter how bad they are.
But officials with Addiction Recovery Care say they are here to help.
There is hope and they can recover.
Senior Director Jamie Gillum works at a new outpatient center in Martin County.
We are treatment for people who are struggling with addiction that need outpatient services.
3 years ago, community liaison Megan Evans lived a different life.
And I was a functioning addict for a long time until it just got to the point where I couldn't function anymore.
Her goal is to change the stigma surrounding the court system.
It was a time of pain and of crisis, and then now it can be a time of hope and opportunity for other people, just like it was for me.
Using her story to help others fight addiction.
And now I get to come full circle, literally, right back in the courtroom where it all started, and help pull other people out of the fire.
Addicts are getting treatment instead of jail time.
Because we know that the answer is not behind bars.
In Martin County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
In the last 3 months, Megan Evans has helped around 45 people get the opportunity to go to treatment instead of being incarcerated. Well, coming up at 11, a new study shows Facebook may have censored conservative voices. You might not see Spider-Man jumping from building to building in the next Marvel movie, why business disagreements could ground the superhero.
And scattered showers and storms will continue into your Wednesday. I'll have those details coming up.